welcome to a demonstration of using PhD guiding and nebulosity together. To start off here in PhD guiding, I'm going to tell it to connect to the camera. So over in the lower left we have the camera button. Press that, gives a choice. Camera I have connected is the Fishcamp Starfish, so I'm going to select that camera and hit OK. Now after a couple seconds it should say that the camera is connected in the status bar, and over on the right it'll say that we're now connected to a camera. I'm going to connect to the mount. This camera has a built-in AutoGuide output port, so I'm going to select on camera there. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to tell PhD to connect to the mount. We should see again now that it says that the scope is actually connected. I've already aimed the telescope here at a very bright star. This happens to be a star in Orion's belt. I'm going to press the loop button now, and the camera will start taking pictures and showing them on the screen. We're getting a real-time preview here. You can see we have a star. It's very, very out of focus. PhD automatically stretches the image to try to give you the best possible way of actually taking a look at it. But we know that we're quite out of focus, so I'm going to start adjusting the focus knob here and try to get it so that I get down and get into focus. So we're getting smaller and smaller. It's getting brighter and brighter. And we also are starting to see there's another star in the lower left-hand corner that's coming through. So we're picking that up. Using very faint stars, whether they're present or absent, is a nice way to ensure that you're in nice focus. Don't worry too much about focus here. All we need to do is get something pretty close enough. Don't be obsessive about it at all. Alright, once we think that we have a basic focus here, we can tell PhD to, as I said, don't be obsessive about it. Anything that you're off on here really isn't going to hurt your guiding whatsoever. In fact, it can actually make it a tiny bit better. So I'm going to now tell PhD to stop looping, and we're going to do the same basic thing over in nebulosity. I'm going to select the camera I'm using here. This is a CCD Labs Q285. Going to set it up for 1.5 seconds and do a frame and focus, hitting that button there. What we're now going to do is we're going to be looping 1-second exposures to get a real-time preview. We can see right now that we are in fact very far out of focus. You can see I'm using a Newtonian, and that the dark spot in the center there is in fact my secondary. I'm using a motorized focuser here, and I'm just going to slowly rack it down until I get something that looks to be relatively focused. As we start to get closer and closer, it's also auto-stretching, so you can see more stars come in. You can also see on my very bright star here, see those 4 spikes? Those are diffraction spikes from my vanes. In fact, actually, one way to do critical focus is to get those 4 spikes, those pairs of spikes on each one, sorry, there were 8 spikes before, to get down to, in fact, just 1. Well, here we're pretty good. I'm going to hit stop, tell it that we're actually done with the frame and focus. We're going to move on and hit the Find Focus button, and then click on a star. I'm going to pick this one over here, something that's not terribly bright. So okay, we now see the profile of that star. We see readings of the maximum. We also have the average of the max 3 and a sharpness algorithm here. We also have over on the left-hand side, we have a continuing running measure of really how sharp the focus is by these metrics. So you get a history of them. We can see the star itself, and there I just adjusted the focus, and you can see it decidedly went out of focus. You can even see the dip right in the middle there of my secondary. So I know that I have to go back in the other direction on the focus to get myself in. We can also see in the history here that decidedly the focus metrics all went down, and now we're slowly coming back up. Now, tonight actually is a night of very, very poor seeing. It's going to make my adjustment of the focus here a little bit more difficult. We can see, however, that it's gone up. We can also see that little tiny star right there. Again, these are all ways for you to try to get as close into focus as possible. We know that we should be able to at least get up that high. That's how far we got in the frame and focus mode. And right now, we're not even there yet. We can see now I've decidedly gone out of focus, the star is fuzzier, and my metrics have gone down. That little one has disappeared. I need to reverse direction and go back the other way. here, I'm just going to continue with the fine focus procedure, and most of the time it doesn't take nearly this long. I would normally be done by now, but the fact that the seeing is so poor tonight is making life tougher. We can see now, in fact, all of the metrics have gone higher than they actually were previously, at least in that last bump. I just actually put the focus controller down there and caused a big shake, so this will be pretty good for now. I'll hit abort, and now we're actually ready to start trying to see what we have here. We're now done with the basic sort of focus routine. Both scopes are now focused. We should now actually be ready to start our imaging. This is going to end this segment here, and we'll continue on with capture on the next segment.